Sounds like someone wants to get funky.
It's Comix Podcast with Mighty Mosby, Mob Stash, and Esther Star. Here is your host, Esther Star.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? As you heard, Denzel Washington. I am Esther Stark, and we are live. I am 1/3 of Comix Podcast. The handsome gentleman to my left is yes, you, sir. You, right there. Is Ash. We are kicking it
VR.
tonight. We are VR troopers, indeed. Virtual reality. Yeah, man, it's Thursday. I know I missed last week, so I apologize. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I missed last week.
Salma Hayek came on and just started, undressing. It
I
was
thought you were gonna be like Rosario Dawson showed up.
no, she was busy in Boston.
I knew it. She's always busy. She's always busy, always breaking hearts and moving on and shit. So it's been a week. What's going on, Ash? How's everything, man?
Good. I think I got some kind of a stomach bug from a burrito. That's not a pun.
Nice.
So fine, and you have to go right now. Has been right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, that's the sound it makes.
oh, that's disgusting.
How about yourself?
Ooh, you nasty.
Oh, you nasty, huh?
Oh, you nasty. Yeah, man. It's been an interesting week. I quit my job.
We're going to 4 days. They just announced in January, and a lot of people are already looking out,
Yeah.
because they're like, we're trying to get back to normal, and it's like, this is our normal now. Like,
Right.
we had a job, and you allowed us to live our lives while doing our job, and now you want us to go back to spend more time with you than our family, and that's not cool.
Yeah, man.
But
I quit my job. Yeah, I quit my job. Huh?
That's what I was asking. What happened?
Oh no, it wasn't that. It's just, the job became very toxic. The manager there was very, very toxic. Just always, it was just bad. It just wasn't only the manager. It was like everybody else that I was working with.
Right.
That was pretty toxic. It sucks, but whatever. Put in my 2 weeks. My last day was supposed to be today, the 19th. I put in my 2 weeks, and they actually said, "No, you know what? We'll go ahead and let you go on the 12th." So I'm like, "Cool, man." So that was fun.
Yeah, that's your little whatever to me, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's like that hurt my feelings. Okay, cool. But they still they paid me out. I got paid out until the 19th to today. So it's like if I was working up until today. Long story short, they fucked up big time. I found out, and I went to HR about it. And just for everybody that's watching, just remember, HR is not your friend. They are not your friend. So, yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. You know why? Because I already got another job lined up. I start on the 26th, the day after Christmas, and I'll be a lot closer. Yeah, man.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Very hot. Very hot.
So on that note, on a week, let's go ahead and jump into what I'm drinking. I'm drinking this Redbreast. This is a single pot still Irish whiskey, 12 years. Okay. It is a rich mix of dried fruit and spice with toasted oak and sherry undertones. Triple distilled and matured in the finest oak cases, and is a product of Ireland. So Redbreast, never had this before. I ended up getting it for my birthday, so I do appreciate my best friend Rigo. He's the one that ended up getting me this little gem here. I've had a little bit, but I didn't have any on the day on my birthday. So let's go ahead and dive right in on this.
I think we all had plenty. I think we all had plenty on your birthday.
We did, but look at this. 12 years, and this it's good, dude.
Yeah, it looks good.
It smells delicious. You can smell the oak, the oak that the barrels sat in. So it's
12-year-old Redbreast, huh?
Mm-hmm. Don't go there.
I didn't go there.
It's very smooth.
It's actually literally the words you said.
I know, but don't do that.
Nope.
Don't do that, because it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much paparazzo. With our, no, what did he say? No.
What did he say?
So yeah, there's another bottle that I have yet to open. We'll probably end up opening it. That'll fall for our Christmas episode. It's called Wise Man, so that'll fall for our Christmas episode next week. So, but yeah, if you guys get a chance, pick up a bottle of Redbreast. It's really, really good. Very, very smooth. And for those that are whiskey drinkers, it's best neat. Obviously, don't mix it with anything. This is something to be to drink alone. Don't mix it with anything. Just embrace it.
I do a lot of drinking alone.
That's not what I mean. Don't use it as a mixer. Don't add anything to it. Don't put any Coke or any ginger ale or anything like that.
All right, take it easy.
I'm just saying.
And that, with all the bottles you got for your birthday, that adds to your bar.
It does, and I'm excited.
Oh.
I'm excited because for those that don't know, I do have an infinity decanter that I'm putting together. For those that don't know what an infinity decanter is, it's just pretty much the different types of whiskeys that you have, and you're actually mixing them all together. So you'll have a unique blend of your very own whiskey. So I know I have in there Jameson. I have Jameson in there. I've got Bullet Bourbon. I've got Bullet Rye in there. I've got a Bullet Rye 12-year in there. I threw in some Jack Daniels. I have some of that. But I have yet to throw in the Redbreast, the Angel Envy, the Wise Man I have not opened yet. And then there's another one that I featured on like a couple weeks back. I have not added that on there. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the whole sense of the infinity decanter. You just keep on pouring whatever you have left in your whiskeys, and you have your very own blend. You just go ahead and just, that's your own unique blend. So, which is pretty cool. So I'm down for that. It's something you should start, dude. You should start an infinity decanter.
When I stop finishing a bottle in 1 week, I could probably do that.
Well, don't finish a bottle in 1 week.
Okay, that's what I just said.
I'm just telling you. Why are you yelling at me? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. We don't have any comments this week, and that's okay. It's the end of the year, holiday season. We're all good. We did have a few things end up dropping. There's a couple things that we've been watching. Secret Level is right now my new binge. So there's that. We've also got the trailer for Superman that dropped today. There was a trailer for the Karate Kid Legends that dropped as well this week. There's some drama with Sony. DC has another highest grossing comic book that has been going, that is killing it right now. So on that note, let's go ahead and dive right in. How far are you in Secret Level?
I got to Because Vanessa came over. No, not Vanessa. Gabe came over. And he got into the episode, so it was like, I don't want to watch anymore because. And I was trying to tell him like, each episode they don't have anything to do with each other. It's like,
right.
But it's hard to tell. I'm stubborn like that too, so I probably would have been like, no, forget it. I feel like I'm on 4 or 5. Which
really?
Yeah, because I only had 3 left before they dropped these new ones.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. For those that are watching, and again, thanks to everyone that's joining us live right now over on our YouTube. So give us a shout out if you guys are watching this live. Secret Level is Amazon Prime's newest series that they dropped, and it's pretty much a collaboration with Xbox and PlayStation, I believe. It's a lot of the games that we grew up with that they ended up creating little episodes with. So it's equivalent to I believe it's the same creators as well as the Netflix show Love, Death, and Robots. So it's just like that. It's actually pretty cool. It's already been renewed for season 2. There's a lot of episodes on there that are awesome. They dropped, I believe, the 10th was when the first 8 dropped. The 17th, the second part dropped, and I believe there's a few that's supposed to drop because there is supposed to be a God of War one, and that one didn't drop with the last drop on the 17th.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting.
So it's going to be pretty cool, and a lot of these episodes range from 8 to 10 minutes all the way up to almost a half hour. So it's actually really, really cool. The first one that I really, really dug was the Dungeons and Dragons one. The Dungeons and Dragons one was really, really, really fucking cool. Really, really cool. And it just progressed from there. It's like, and like Ash was talking a few seconds ago, it's not one of those shows where it's like you have to watch the first episode to understand what's happening in the second episode. They're all different stories. The one that I was really excited to watch was the Warhammer one. That one was really, really good. Super happy about that one. Super excited about that one also. It just makes me.
Yeah, you said it looked like Warhammer. What was the not the story, because I don't want to spoil anything. What did that look like?
The Warhammer one?
Yeah.
It was just.
That wasn't the robot one, right? That was fucking.
No. I think that was like episode 2 or 3. The Warhammer one, I believe, was episode 5.
Maybe that's what I looked to pause on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Warhammer one is based off of the tabletop game, the Warhammer 40K game. It's pretty much the what Henry Cavill's show got greenlit for. Henry Cavill's 40K Warhammer show was greenlit finally over at Amazon/MGM Studios. So they're going to be going with it. So if it is an animated one, I would not hate it. The way that this animation ended up coming across was fucking beautiful, magical. It was perfect.
And 2, studios need to fucking realize that they all had a story.
Yeah.
The guy. I'm not gonna spoil because I'm gonna tell you what happened, but I'm gonna give you like little scenes. There's I don't even want to call him the weakest one, but the one that they were all protecting during the Dungeons and Dragons one was like, I have this, you guys can go.
For sure.
I'm sure you can't take this guy, but you have us. Like, it was like all like,
It was dope. He's like, I've been fighting them for years, and it's just like, but you're not alone. Yeah, that shit was dope. Yeah.
Hit me in the chesticles. And then 2, the redheaded stepchild robot one was like Terminator meets
the Gladiator one, yeah,
Hunger Games, but they show you like, and it does meet Gladiator because they're beating the shit out of this guy, where he finally like what was that? They've done that before. I don't know if it
became self-aware.
Yeah, they've done that before, but
yeah,
not in this context.
Right.
And 2, like the way that he linked up with everybody, even if he became a shield, it's for the greater good of I gotta win so that we don't do this shit stops.
Right. Yeah.
And then the Hunger Games part was 2 because the girl was like, I didn't want him to win. blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
make sure he loses next time. Like, but it was done beautifully.
Exactly.
And then like everybody looked. I never really got into Dungeons and Dragons because not because it's nerd stuff, because I like a lot of nerd stuff, but when you're playing a video game and it's beautiful and then the gameplay's like fucking Final Fantasy looks
Final Fantasy
beautiful,
yeah,
and it makes me want to play it, and then but when you're really playing, it's like it looks like Game Boy.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, yeah. But that's old school RPG, dude. That's how it was. It's like the cutscenes are fucking beautifully created and magical and shit, and then like you said, it turns out to be like very much Scott Pilgrim versus the World. You know what I mean? When they're fighting, it's like turns into 8-bit all of a sudden.
Fucking what's the one where they're all wearing yellow and Wolverine's in it? Midnight Summers or no
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that game was going to be bomb because the cover looks like it's going to be the shit. And then
yeah, it's not. It's not. It's an okay game. It's a very turn-based game, reminiscent of the old school RPGs. The one game that was that actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but if the graphics you could do through an app, why am I paying $60 for it?
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I just recently picked up Space Marine 2, and that game is fucking dope. Space Marine 2 is very, very cool. It's like a combination of like Gears of War and Batman Arkham Asylum. It's a over-the-shoulder third-person shooter. And you're following the space, again, it's Warhammer, it's following the Space Marines and stuff like that. So you're toggling between your handgun bolter or your storm bolter, and then you're equipped with a chain sword, so which is fucking dope, So very easily and seamlessly you can switch back and forth, going from suppressing fire or firing your weapon and then jumping into melee, and it's very much like Arkham Asylum, because you end up speed running into the battle. You go ahead and take out a few guys, and then like there's guys behind you, and then you like shoulder roll behind and you start fighting those guys, and then so it's very much Arkham Asylum. It's really, really cool, really, really fun to play.
When it's not like Arkham where it's one button, punch, kick, blah blah blah.
No. You have to. It's a combination of the entire controllers, because it's like if you're jumping into the storm bolter or you're using the rifle, like you have to fire with like R2. You're firing with R2, and then if you go into melee, then you switch over to melee, and then but again, it's like it's real seamless. You're using the D-pad to jump from firing your weapon to a melee weapon, and it's super cool. It's super cool, and it's really, really fun.
Have you played the Alien game?
No, I haven't.
It's a lot like you're playing the level, but if somebody else is playing the level, they're on your team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so you don't have to create a room for it. You're just everybody's
cool.
On that level. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
It looked really good, and it got me interested in it. And then I was in it for that day, and then I just never went back to it. But it was pretty good.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And it's in your PlayStation monthly game, so that was fun to play.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a lot of fun, but that's why it's like going back to Secret Level. It's like watching the Warhammer episode. It gives me hope, and I'm super excited about the Henry Cavill show. It could very well be amazing if they would animated this movie. Even if they do it live action, like I have faith that they can do this live action. You know what I mean? It is going to have to be heavily CGI'd, because there's a lot of the aliens and whatnot that are going on that you're fighting against that it's like you can't really do practical effects with something like that. So
I think too, a lot of times writers get inspired by stuff, and then they write down something fucking accurate, and then the studio sees it and like, where's the chicks? Where's the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, where's the You know what I mean? Something stupid. Where's the Vin Diesel in it, or where's the fucking Tom Hardy? You know what I mean? They look for little things that fucking work, and like they change up your shit to where it's not even the script that you fucking wrote.
Yeah.
She should have more scenes because we casted Angelina Jolie, so she has to have more scenes, like little bullshit like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But again, it's just I don't know, man. I can see Warhammer being very much like Game of Thrones, where there was a lot of like no-name actors that were on there.
Yeah.
And it's very much Game of Thrones because you kind of have these different houses, you have these different factions. You know what I mean? Like you have your Ultramarines, you have your Space Wolves, your Blood Angels, your Dark Angels, and that's just like the Terran race. You know what I mean? And then you jump to Chaos. It's insane. It's insane. It is a really, really fun tabletop game, and I think that's what's super exciting to kind of see and being brought to life. You know what I mean?
Is it going to be hard for? Do they tell a story, or do they try to?
They do tell a story. They do.
That's what I'm saying. For the movie, do you think they try to explain like, oh, these are his powers, or blah blah blah, or
there's really two ways of doing it. They can either start off at the beginning, starting with the Horus Heresy, and it's pretty much if they start off with that, it kind of explains, that, or it could be very much one of those. We're not going to really explain too much or show too much of that. It'll be like a voiceover at the very beginning of. I mean, you've seen it in every single movie. You know what I mean? It's like the voiceover, and then they do flashbacks and stuff like that. It would be something like that. But the Horus Heresy is what really kicks off the 41st millennia. It's and the war. That ends up happening. So it's just one of those. It's very much. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the science fiction stuff nowadays, or before, they borrow from each other. Because it's like when you're watching Dune, and again, to bring in another one, when you're watching Dune, there is one emperor, that everyone follows. It's the same thing in Warhammer. There's one emperor, that everyone falls behind, and then within that underneath that, you have your different factions of, Marines or different types of aliens, and there's dark elves, and there's a shit ton of stuff, dude. It's a lot of lore. So yeah, if anyone's interested in it, I would probably start off with secret level just to kind of get an idea of what it is, and then from there kind of if you want to jump into like books and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Please tell me more.
I have no. It's you're it's like anime, dude. I have to listen because I don't have a lot.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it. Jumping into our next topic, did you know that it has been put out by Sony that Sony had zero restrictions when it came to Spider-Man in the Marvel or the Spider-Man multiverse or the Spider-Verse that they had with Kraven and Venom and stuff like that. So meaning that those movies could have had Spider-Man in it, but they chose not to use Spider-Man.
They were just those. Again, I think we brought it up last week or 2 weeks ago. When you're creating the movie on the villain, who do we root for?
Right.
So, and if he's caught in that thing, then what makes Spider-Man so special? Like, you were behind the closest thing you could have done was fucking Sinister Six, and then show them taking over the New York or something. I mean, it doesn't have. It could have ended like Empire Strikes Back, where it's a Debbie Downer, but a good movie. But
absolutely.
But you can't have you can't have 17 Emperor Strikes Back without any fucking return. We need a happy ending.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And it makes sense, and it's even come to the point because that whole Spider-Verse has failed so much because they were expecting Craven to do a lot better, but it turns out that Craven did worse than Madam Web.
You know what, dude? Your first clue is it's out May 18th. Hey, never mind. It's out fucking a whole year later. Like,
yeah.
That's your first clue. Because people were laughing, and I know they pay attention to maybe like one movie in 1 minute guy, or you know what I mean, in 60 seconds, whatever. Like if that guy tears it apart, I mean, I know studios pay attention to that because of their following, you know.
Yeah.
So once something gets torn apart, then it has no shot.
No. And Sony's got a point that they're considering selling Spider-Man back to Marvel.
All they fucking really needed to do is use our characters. We still own it, but here, use whoever you want. Just cut us in, and you fund anything Sony fucking wants to do, and you use that money without having to do a goddamn thing, and you would have been fine. It would have just been, you'd be collecting the paychecks to fund the stuff you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Here's the thing too. Here's the thing is that they saw that it works. It worked with Spider-Man Homecoming. It worked with Spider-Man Far From Home, and it worked with Spider-Man No Way Home. What was the problem? Why not adopt that with, the Spider-Verse?
Dude, the first one had its charm, and then we got the Robert Downey Jr. So it's in our world. And then we got part 3 where you're using the other 2 fucking Spider-Man. So now it's like nostalgic.
Right.
Like, you don't know if the next one would have been a Sony piece of shit because they don't have access to stuff anymore, or they had nothing to play on.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they could have used Spider-Man in any of these. Being that the multiverse was a thing, you could have rotated Andrew Garfield's
you definitely could have,
and Tom Holland.
Yeah, you definitely could have, because it wasn't one world yet, or it wasn't a Sony world.
Right, exactly.
Sony's world, but it's nothing's
right,
whatever.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Why not? They could have found a way where they could have had Madam Web and Tom Holland in Madam Web somehow. They could have had Andrew Garfield in Kraven the Hunter. They could have had, you know what I mean?
You know why that would have been smart? Is because you wouldn't have called it Spider-Man, and everybody's like, which one's my Spider-Man? You called it that other one, even though Andrew Garfield's gonna beat fucking Rhino, and then Tobey Maguire is gonna fight whoever. Like, that would have been smart. So that way you have multiple Spider-Man without anybody going, which one's Spider-Man? Like, which one is?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Before Joker 2 sucked, they were like, well, what do I do when Joker comes out? Like, which one do I care about? And then it sucks, so nobody.
Yeah. Over on our Instagram, Belario Bazaar says, "What's up?" And he says, "Man, I just finished that Watchmen series on HBO that came out a few years ago. It was insanely good. Turns out quite different from the original movie." Here's the thing.
Did they say anything about why it wasn't season 2?
There was. I guess there was not following to it. But here's the thing to that, okay?
Yeah.
That one, it was different from the original movie, but here's what they were trying to do. What they were trying to do was to have it follow after the comic book, not the Zack Snyder film. Which is why, if you guys remember at the very beginning of the episode, when the first episode, where it was when it was raining and all these squid were falling from the sky, that is a callback to the comic book, where at the end it wasn't a massive hydrogen bomb or a massive atom bomb like in the Zack Snyder film. It was a giant squid that was attacking the city, a giant alien squid. So that's what that's where that followed. So that was supposed to pick up a few years after the comic book. So if you were in tune with the comic book, that series made sense, and that's probably why it didn't get renewed for a second season. You know what I mean?
Some movies are just good at one, man. So I mean, and I don't mean that for what I mean. It's good to just look at Godfather 1, 2, and then third. Oh shit! You know what I mean? Like
cash grab. The third one was a cash grab.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just sometimes if you don't have a good story and you just want to make a paycheck, like it's not worth it.
Hey man,
look at Home Alone, dude. I don't know if this was true. I don't know if it was Home Alone 1 and 2, and then again, I feel like it's a man-made movie or a man-made trailer that they just took from other movies.
Okay,
and made it, whatever. But basically, it was a 36-year-old Kevin, or however old he is, and they wanted to try one last time to get him or whatever. Again, I'm.
It wasn't real.
Of course, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
They even called it Home Alone 3, which would have meant that you're disregarding those whole other horrible ones.
Yeah.
And it was dumb because the whole thing was, it was a movie that wasn't adult, but people got hurt and adult stuff happened. And then they went into where the weapons were little sucker things, and then making the face, and like, how come it's not working? Of course it's not working.
So here's the thing. So following the Home Alone franchise, there was Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, then there was a Home Alone 3. Those three were an actual theatrical release. Then there was Home Alone 4, which was a TV film. Then there was Home Alone, the Holiday Heist. Okay. So we're at 5 Home Alones already. Then Disney Plus in 2021 came out with the movie Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh, I remember that.
Okay. That came out on Disney Plus, you know. So, and then that's where it ended. It ended there.
Yeah.
You know,
they finally said, "Oh, it's not working."
Right. That one ended, but it was supposed to be in the universe of the original 2 because Bud comes out in Home Alone, Sweet Home Alone, or whatever, or Home Sweet Home Alone. He ends up playing because it takes place in Chicago again, but he's a police officer now in Chicago. So like, and his badge says McAllister, so it takes place in that universe, you know. So there's that, you know what I mean? So it's following the same trope as going back to The Crow. The first one was fucking fantastic. The second one was okay, and then you had the other shitty ones that went straight to DVD. Yeah. You know, there's that, and then you had the shitty Bill Skarsgård one. So,
you know, they give him very iconic roles that are just not working out, but they're giving. He's such a good actor. It's a bit like. It's like a Gary Oldman situation, but Gary Oldman knocks it out of the park.
At every film.
Even the cheesiest one, which is Fifth Element,
of course.
There's people that have his back on it because it was a character choice. I think it's. I can't see the Alabama or Texas accent.
Oh yeah,
forgive me, coming out of his mouth, dressed like that.
Right.
It just doesn't click to me. But if he were he doesn't need a cowboy hat, but if he were dressed different, it would make sense. I mean, how many times Jeff Bridges has used the dude's voice for different in R.I.P.D. He has a hat, so it's different. The fucking Golden Circle gentleman.
Secret Service.
Again, the same hat and same vote. Like that's you know what I'm trying to say. Like he still knocks it out of the fucking park. He makes things fit. And that one, just for some reason, again, it was a character choice. It just, but I love Gary Oldman. Fucking, you know what I mean? Did you see the interview where he talked about like, well, I don't regret saying no to Edward Scissorhands. I just didn't get it. And as soon as he saw all the pink and green houses and then the one castle, it was like, I got it.
Yeah.
It was cool to see, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but going back to this,
sorry,
Bill Skarsgård getting iconic roles. Yeah, he has, and there's some that he's knocked out of the park. Like, you know, he knocked out Pennywise, knocked that out of the park. A lot of people forget that he was in Eternals. He was the villain in Eternals.
I think I saw Salma Hayek, right?
Yes, Salma Hayek. You know, and then now, you know, he played Eric Draven in The Crow, and next on Christmas Day, he's coming out and playing Nosferatu.
Oh yeah,
vampire. So, you know, so we'll see. I mean, everyone's raving that it was amazing. Everyone that has seen it has loved it. You know, I want to watch that shit. I really want to watch that. I saw the original Nosferatu, you know, and it you know, for its time, it was a fantastic fucking film, you know.
Dude.
So
and you could put your own soundtrack to it because it's you whatever, you know what I mean? Like you can play whatever to it, and because you have to read it anyway. I don't know. It's just it's a mood. It's a whole mood, and it's like 45 minutes, if not a half hour,
something like that. It's like 45 minutes. Yeah,
it's not a crazy ass long movie. But yeah, that's, again, they did that with what the fuck was it? Shadows of the Dark, or what was the one where Willem Dafoe? He's real. He's a real Nosferatu, but he's playing an actor.
Oh, the Shadows.
Yeah, something, right? Like they just figure out a way to retell that story over and over. Even Bram Stoker's Dracula is basically Nosferatu story.
Essentially, yeah.
Mina, she goes up there. You know what I mean? The same story.
Yeah. So but that's what I'm saying. It's like going back to the whole Spider-Man thing. Like now finding out that Sony had the ability to use Spider-Man and they refused to. You know, it's just shame on them. Like they fucked up big time. You know what I mean? That's something that they screwed up on. You know, so
they saw each of those as a different check.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and the only one, right? And the only one that was fairly successful was the Venom franchise, the Venom trilogy. That was the only one that was fairly successful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Again, though, I just would have liked to have seen one where he's the bad guy and then he becomes no one else is going to kill you but me.
Right.
Venom. Where I'm not a good guy. I'm just the only one that's going to kill you.
We still could get that. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see. You know?
And you can't keep doing these 4 years between movies with Tom Holland because sooner or later it's not. He ain't going to look like that anymore, man.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But another two trailers ended up dropping. Death of a Unicorn. I don't know if you saw the trailer to that one. It's got Paul Rudd and it's got Jenna Ortega in it.
I saw it on Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a horror comedy a bit. You know,
okay.
So it looks like it's one of those that I want to check out. I definitely want to see Death of a Unicorn. It looks pretty good. According to Mosby, Hollywood's back because of that.
Back when they're in the same city.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. You know. So and then there's a lot of rumors going around with Spider-Man 4. You know, as far as our rapid fire goes, there's a lot of rumors going around saying that Mephisto, Ghost Rider is going to show up in Spider-Man 4. Yeah. So
Nicolas Cage is coming back for that.
Yeah, and that Zendaya's role in Spider-Man 4 has been greatly reduced in that film, and I have a feeling why they're doing that. I think what they're going to do is they're going to start exploring the Black Cat and Spider-Man relationship. So it's possible that they might end up doing that, you know.
Yeah. So that was weird to deal with if you played the Spider-Man game. Because like it was Mary Jane basically, hey, you got to go help her or whatever. Like it was like a weird go help your ex storyline.
No, for sure. Let's see. Belario says, not many people like to talk about how Frodo fell victim to the ring, and we'll talk about Lord of the Rings. Fell victim to the ring's power at the end, and that Gollum was the one that sacrificed himself for Middle Earth. That's possible. That is another way to look at it.
Or was he just trying for the one last? Because he went for the ring, basically, right?
Right. He went for the ring. Frodo put the ring on. Frodo disappeared. Gollum attacked him, bit his finger off, and they both fell off the cliff into falling into the lava pit in Mordor. But Frodo was actually able to hang on. So Gollum goes falling into the lava, finally having the ring. So that's how a lot of people see it, that it was that Frodo fell victim to the power of the ring, but Gollum was the one that actually sacrificed himself for Middle Earth.
All right, I'm gonna show mine.
Okay.
Hi, Paul Peters. Mob looks like Steve Harvey on Ozempic. Thank you so much for taking the fucking time to say that and using your Thursday night to do that. I appreciate you watching, and thank you for the views. Also, if it's going to be more of this, I'm probably not going to show the rest of it, but I at least wanted you to get your rocks off so that you got to see us acknowledge you.
Oh, wow.
All right. Move on.
And then Belario also says The Menu. Did you see that film, The Menu? The Menu was a pretty good horror comedy. That one's actually really good. That one is.
Did we put that in the chat?
Huh?
In our chat? To like?
No. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about that The Menu was a pretty good horror comedy film.
Okay.
I believe it's on, because we were talking about Death of a Unicorn. I think it's on HBO Max. It's on Max, and it has Ralph Fiennes in it. It has Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy.
What? Yes, I think I've. When you open it and then it does that thing when you leave it on for too long. It does that whatever. Yeah, I think I've seen not the trailer, but I saw the
like a promo for it or something.
I guess for it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's a pretty good comedy. Where it's combining everything all together. So there's that. And then not lastly, but it looks like, jumping into the comic book world, DC Comics has reunited Batman creators Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee for a Hush sequel. So if you guys have not followed Hush, you guys need to pick up that storyline, because Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are coming back for the Hush sequel. So there's that.
I think that will help, because we talked about the Marvel or the Sony universe, like maybe that's your Batman for Hush.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you do a part 2, then you're still only calling it Hush. You're not calling it Batman.
Right. But here's the thing too. Here's the thing to that is that there's a possibility that the Batman part 2, the film, might incorporate the Hush storyline also.
Along with the fucking Court of Owls?
It's possible. Somehow they can tie it. Somehow
he is a part of the Court of Owls.
Exactly.
Okay.
If they tie it all together,
Yeah.
I mean, remember, it's supposed to be an Elseworld story,
Yeah.
So
again, though, too, we're talking about the Star Wars trailer or Superman trailer, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't need to be like the exact same thing that you read.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool to fucking see the, like, even if it's your interpretation of Hush.
Right.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
Okay.
Done and done. Yeah, dude, absolutely. It's just a nice change of pace. You know what I mean? That we can get something like that going. A Hush sequel. And because of it, and I think it's a great idea because now the comic book line, the Absolute comic book line over at DC, because there's Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Batman. The Absolute Batman is right now DC's highest selling comic book for 2024, and it sold nearly 400,000 copies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not. I mean, again, in the 90s, obviously 80s, that's not a huge number, but when's the last time you guys fucking bought a comic book?
Yeah, no, for sure.
General public. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means remember the New 52 was the last big like boom of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it was a New 52, and then they got rebooted again. The DC universe, comic book universe, has gone through a lot of reboots, and right now I feel like
to get to me, you know what I'm saying? Like who doesn't
for
collect?
sure, for sure. Yeah. So these absolute storylines are fun. They're different. Like this Batman is not a rich Batman. Bruce Wayne's not rich. He works in construction, so that's why he's all big and fucking burly and shit. His best friends in the comic book are the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. The Joker's one of his best friends. The Riddler's one of his best friends, and they're just regular dudes that work in like different lines of work in construction, that are janitors and stuff like that. And they get together.
Are they best friends, but they don't know that each other's the bad guy, kind of a thing?
Pretty much, yeah. So it's really, really cool. Absolute Superman looks really good. The costume looks fucking phenomenal.
Brutes. Only my friend wears brutes.
Right? So the Absolute storylines look great. And there's a big possibility that because they are taking off, I have a feeling DC will probably do Elseworld animated films. With the Absolute.
I mean, there was, I think, a Rotten Tomatoes where it was like, Marvel movies, yes. Marvel animated, no. Marvel DC movies, no. Animated, yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're just doing, But
speaking of DC anime, have you been keeping up with Creature Commandos?
This is the face of the person that doesn't know what you're talking about.
Nice. Okay, so it's Creature Commandos is the point to jump onto the new DCU, the James Gunn's DCU. It's on Max. They're on today. Episode 4 dropped, so you can pick. You end up binging those. They're about a half hour, 40 minutes.
Animated or not?
Animated, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Animated.
So it's the beginning of that world. So this is what you're gonna see.
So it's going to lead into Superman. So Creature Commandos, I believe, when it ends, it's supposed to lead into Superman. The end of Superman is supposed to lead into Peacemaker season 2, and so on and so forth, and stuff like that.
Oh, so that's crazy. Let's not copy Marvel and then copy Marvel.
Right. But here's okay. So a lot of people are saying that, and here's what James Gunn said to that. He says that it's going to be different for DC, and the reason why is because they will not light a film until the script is perfect. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, what it sounds like is that when it crosses James Gunn's desk and he goes through it and reads it, if it's not perfect, they're not going to go ahead and greenlight the film. So which is why all this casting has been taking place for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's why the Green Lantern stuff, like it's been greenlit. Why it's taken so long for it to be greenlit. We don't have a script yet. Again, for Supergirl, we have casting done. We don't have a script yet, but we got casting. I heard it in my voice when I said casting, so we have that. So it's going to take time. This stuff is going to take time. It's going to slow down, and I have a feeling it's going to slow down the DCU.
Just make each movie good. Okay, now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do that. Like, you're creating a world, and you haven't. People are talking shit about Superman trailer right now. Like, is that even going to happen anymore? Because what are we doing?
And
the first thing concentrate and make the first thing good.
For sure.
Each
Absolutely.
thing, just fucking make it good. We had no expectations because, of course, when we saw the first Tobey Maguire, there's, as cheesy as it is, you finally took a fucking superhero movie serious. We're happy with that.
Yeah.
We finally got to Dark Knight and fucking Batman Begins, and now it's like, now story is a real thing. I'm sure it happened before that, but now we judge these movies because now you've shown us that you guys can do a really good fucking movie. Absolutely. So when you put out Madam Web, just thinking about fucking that hot blonde chick and it doesn't work out and you don't understand why, it's because it's story. It's fucking put out a good story.
It's not only that, but it's like, I mean, you remember what ended up happening when Dakota Johnson signed on. She thought it was an MCU film.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. She thought it was an MCU film.
But it's established, and if Sony sells it, it could be, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, can she reprise her role if they end up selling it? Absolutely. You know, can it be better?
And with a good story and whatever. Yeah. Or even, and it doesn't even have to be a Spider-Man movie. It could be a fucking Doctor Strange movie, as they've proven.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. See, so I feel I am cautiously optimistic for the DC universe. Yeah.
Mosby told me last week that they never even get into the costumes. The Madam Web.
Oh, they don't. They don't. They show a They show, like, because she can tell the future. Okay, so that's her superpower. She can tell the future. There's a part where she is able to look into the future and she sees them in costume down the road and using powers and shit. But in the film, when it ends, they don't have them. You know what I mean?
I do. So again, the way you said that to me, to a studio, I just went, so they're never going to be in the costume? You know what I mean?
No,
they're never going to.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. Okay.
Somebody greenlit that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so go ahead. Say it again.
So here's what's going to happen. So we're going to have these two hot chicks, and they're going to do, I don't know the character name, so I'm going to say Madam Web. Right. And, we're going to show them in the costume, but, I mean, they're never really going to wear the costume to beat the bad guy or anything. But we'll like give them a glimpse of it. So we'll spend about at least about $200 million because we got to get Dakota Johnson, and then there's a really hot up-and-comer that's from a hot show on Netflix. So
HBO, Euphoria.
HBO. Okay. I don't watch it, but showing my age. But yeah, again, me saying that to myself,
it sounds fucking ridiculous.
It started off bad,
and
I don't see why somebody said yes.
Right, and then so at the end of that fucking pitch, like were the execs like, so how much do you need? Can I write you the check now? Like that?
And
is that what it came down to?
Even if it goes against the movie, what if she doesn't get the power until the end? But and maybe through the bad guy. I mean, something so it's not like, well, if she can tell the future, then why did she even go to this thing? Or why did we even? Why are we watching?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Whatever.
Or there's a way of. Remember when Sherlock Holmes went like, okay, go strike the ribs, strike the throat, and then he shows him do it. You could do just make it fit into the movie, and you know what I mean. Like, even though he said it, they showed it, and then all of a sudden it's different because you saw him do it actually in action, and it was awesome. It was fucking amazing, and that was your introduction to fucking Sherlock Holmes. Something where it's elementary. It was fucking something that made it different, and now there's fucking two of them, and I feel like there's going to be a third.
There is supposed to be a third one, yeah.
Right? Like, that's why it fucking works.
Yeah,
but you just said yes because Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in it, and you know what I mean? And you're not even paying attention that the fucking story is good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like we've been talking about. It's like it's a cash grab, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of cash grabs,
Stevan, it's a cash grab, and you're not getting the fucking cash.
Right, you're not.
So stop doing it.
Yeah.
You had Joker 2, and for some reasons, let's do part 2 as a musical. Why not make the climax of the movie one musical part or something where it's a musical, but it's a massacre during the fucking. So it's like, beauty and massacre at the same time. Instead of making the whole thing fucking Grease, like I don't know why you thought.
How you thought that was
in Joker 2. This is why I have this laughter. Everybody treated me like shit the whole movie. That's why everybody's got to die. I finally get back to the place of Robert De Niro and I shoot him in front of the world. And in part 2, you said, let's have everybody sing so we have Lady Gaga in it. And somebody fucking said yes. Again, instead of the scenario that I gave you.
The thing that blows my mind is that Joaquin Phoenix was the one that came up with the idea for Joker 2 in a fucking dream.
Yeah. But you remember he went through a year of being called a different name because he wanted to be a rapper? Yeah.
I don't understand how that's okay.
Maybe you just say no sometimes.
I don't understand how that's okay. Yeah, I don't understand how that's okay.
What if it was him like grooming a fucking morning Bruce Wayne? You know what I mean? Like almost like fucking Penguin and fucking Victor. You know what I mean? Like not that, but that.
Yeah, no.
You know, like I was so downtrodden that I remember. I think it was Robin 2. Remember he was stealing the hubcaps, like something like that, where you finally catch yourself like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Sure.
Just something would have been cool. Or
I don't know, man.
He saw Joker kill his first death or whatever, and I'm like, no, I gotta be fucking Batman, son. Like, and it'd be that kid that he sees in the police car where we all think that's Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
There's your story.
Yeah, dude. It's I don't know, man. It's the studio execs, dude. It's I don't get it. I don't get some of this stuff. You know, I don't.
I think they just say yes to buzzwords to not get fired and expect a pat on the back, and it's like, I don't know why those people. Why aren't those people getting fired? Because these things are not working. Because Marvel will pick up everything Sony did and make that the shit. I'm gonna take what you fucking did and just build a good story because you had great actors. You just had a shit story.
Yeah,
that's it. How Tom Hardy versus fucking Tom Holland? That's everybody's fucking nerdy wet dream. And how do you not give that to us?
Dude, and I think it's like, even when it came down to Deadpool and Wolverine, like a lot of people, like it's a good film. Deadpool and Wolverine is a good film, but it's the fact that he makes fun of it. It makes fun of, it took this long to do this. It took this long to do that. It only took 20 fucking years for him to be in the suit, you know? Or right before Deadpool and Wolverine actually fight, he looks into the camera, he goes, "Get your fucking special sock, nerds. This is going to get good." You know? Yeah. Like, it's shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And instead of, well, we did see a fucking fight, but we got to see them fighting in a car with fucking special power. Like, just, they made that fucking awesome. You did the time loop, you did everything. And it was almost like, again, everything you ever wanted to do to me, let's fucking work that out. It's like, guys, like, I can't stand you. We fight. We're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it was everything. It was fucking everything.
No, of course, absolutely. So I don't know, man. Hollywood will never learn. They'll never learn.
Deadpool 3, yeah, go ahead. It doesn't count anyway. Oh shit! It's our highest grossing fucking. Of course it is, because you have people who give a fuck about the story and give a fuck about the characters.
Yep.
And it's not just let's put a girl with big tits in the fucking costume. Why didn't that work? It's not fucking 1980 anymore. Like, people want a fucking story. You're going with your family. You're talking so that you're talking your girlfriend into going into it. Hell, even now, there's a lot of fucking beautiful women that are into nerdy shit that are taking their fucking IG model boyfriend to the fucking shit. Like, it's just a different fucking era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
There's beautiful women that cosplay because these stories mean a fuck. It's not fucking Stallone movies anymore. And I'm no disrespect to fucking Stallone because I choose him over fucking Arnold any day as far as my hero. But I also like Hulk Hogan, so I'm flawed. I'm very flawed. I don't like Hulk Hogan now, but I'm very flawed. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just it. You know, I love Over the Top, but it is a movie where he's fighting for custody of his son during a fucking arm wrestling tournament, and I grew up to it. Like, people like Dark Shadows and Labyrinth. I can't stand that. I can't stand those movies. They're so cheesy, but I didn't grow up to them. I didn't watch them when I was a kid. They don't have that nostalgia to me. I just lost half the room. Okay. But anyway,
it's okay. You did.
You like Labyrinth and Dark Shadows? Not Dark Shadows. Dark Crystal.
I do. Dark Crystal. I do.
Yeah. I mean, Career Opportunities is when I really grew up to Jennifer Connelly, but I mean,
Jennifer Connelly for me was The Rocketeer.
Oh yeah, and with the fucking Peggy Carter hair, the little curl thing that she has. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That guy should have been a bigger star too.
He should have.
Yeah. But I heard the Rocket was okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Rocketeer wasn't a flop, but it wasn't what Disney is usually making.
They pretty much broke even.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I mean, Disney
they broke even, but for the time, for the time they broke even, but they didn't consider breaking even a massive success, like how it is now. Now breaking even is like, oh fuck, breaking
even too, because they didn't break even. They didn't consider a part 2.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like fucking not John Carpenter. What's the one Gambit was in? Is it John Carpenter?
Oh yeah, John Carpenter. Yeah, it was John Carpenter.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I mean,
one of Disney's biggest flops. Yeah.
There was somebody that said something. They were Nick Swarsden said, because they were making fun of him that Grandma's Boy was bad or didn't make that much money.
And it wasn't. It was actually really good.
He said, wait till it comes out on DVD. And when it did, all the college frats, all the renting from fucking Blockbuster, all the everything. And if they could figure out a way to do that in Netflix, because I'm sure they know, like, okay, IP Man 4 is doing fucking really well. Like, because they do, once you're watching something, have you gotten these fucking emails? Hey, I saw that you fucking saw IP Man 4. Like, did you like it? Like, Netflix, why are you fucking emailing me?
I didn't see that.
Me. Yeah, like I watch a lot of stand-up comedy at work, and it'll be like, hey, you saw Nick Swarsden's special. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah. I don't get emails, but I get the notifications on Netflix. So it's like, I'll get the notification on Netflix and it'll say like, oh, you saw such and such thing. Like,
That makes sense within the system, but then it doesn't make sense when you're like, fucking crowd survey. Like, why are you sending me any? Come on, man. That just makes it fucking weird.
Makes it weird.
Like,
weird.
Yeah.
It does make it weird.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up with our last topic. The trailer for James Gunn's Superman has dropped. And there's a lot. Comix is divided when it comes down to this Superman film. Ash, you go first, man. How do you feel about the trailer overall?
It worries me.
Why?
It worries me because we saw so many characters that it makes me feel like we're doing the same thing we did with Justice League, where you're not concentrating on the story. You're concentrating on making sure everybody gets into this fucking movie. And it suffers because, well, why are they there? Are they there because you fit them into the movie? Because that's like a buzz. Oh, I heard that guy's cool now. Like, and now we need that guy. We were all looking forward to Guy Gardner because Nathan Fillion is a nerd's fucking the hierarchy of nerds. Exactly. And apparently I missed him because he didn't have the haircut. And it was like, already, what do we
did have the haircut.
He did have the haircut. In the chat, I missed him because I didn't see a guy with the bowl haircut.
Yeah, he does have that haircut. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I ended up putting what I put in the chat. Because Andres goes, I'm surprised that they went with the hair. And I told him, I go, if they don't go with the hair, someone's going to be like, oh, that's not comic accurate Guy Gardner. Where's the bowl cut?
Yeah. So the first, I liked the teaser better than I liked the trailer. The teaser of him on the ground, like reliving his shit, was a lot more interesting than. You remember when they showed Superman in the handcuffs with the army, and we're like, well, how did that happen? How's that going to happen? How's this? Yeah. All this bullshit. Like, it was like that where you answered it. The whole, as it is, how the fuck is Superman beat up? My imagination was better than what you showed me. Because you're showing me, like, oh, he's going to make it through, blah, blah, blah. And, like, it's like, okay, well, we saw Superman in court. We saw Superman over here. Like, I'm just getting the not Man of Steel vibes. I'm getting the Justice League vibes. Where I'm sorry. Batman versus Superman vibes, where it's like, you're just trying to fit everybody in there so that we make this fucking work.
Yeah. I see.
Does that make sense? Instead of, I know we don't want to tell the fucking, not small town. What do they call them? Smallville. I know we don't want to do that storyline again, but I mean, this is Gen Alpha Superman. Sometimes they don't fucking know. They don't know the history like we do, but you're trying to sell to us and them, and sometimes when you glimpse over stuff, okay, well, why? I don't want to see Uncle Ben die again. I understand that, but the change was Aunt May dies, and that was like, and you gave us fucking 4 movies to love her.
Yeah,
plus
exactly.
She's fucking hot. So it was different. It didn't. You're still getting it, but you're getting it in a way that, like, it's not why he became Spider-Man. It's probably why he's going to continue to be Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
True. Yes.
So I don't know. I just got that vibe because it was like, oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's that guy. And I'm not paying attention to. I'm not interested in the story. I'm interested in, like, how the fuck is this guy going to be? Are all these people going to be in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. It's there's. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic for the film. Mosby thinks it's going to be a very mid film. Okay. I have a feeling that if this movie flops, it's going to ruin the DCU.
Yeah.
Ruin it. Straight out the gate. Okay. That's what I feel is going to end up happening.
SD, even if it's good, the next movie they do, if it's bad, the whole thing gets shelved.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And it's like the most pressure ever. And it sucks because you that's what I'm saying. Just make one good movie after the other. Stop casting people now for a movie you're going to do in 2028. Because one, it might not happen. And 2, they're not going to look the way they did in 2024.
Mahershala Ali in Blade. You know.
Exactly.
The trailer, I liked the trailer. trailer. I will say that. I like the trailer. I get what you're saying. There is a lot going on. You have Superman, you have Hawkgirl, you have Guy Gardner, you have Mr. Terrific. It's a lot. It's a lot. You've got Lex Luthor that's going to be in there. You have, I believe the villain's name is Metamorphosis or something like that. Yeah, I get it. It's going to be a lot. You know, I'm not too worried about the cameos. I'm not too worried about how many characters there are because we've seen multiple characters on the big screen at once. Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy, and this was the thing is that when James Gunn was at Marvel, when Star-Lord was there, they brought Gunn in. The Russo brothers brought Gunn in to help write Star-Lord's lines because they wanted to make sure that Star-Lord wasn't altered from what James Gunn has already put out. What we're used to, you know, as far as Star-Lord goes. So I feel that with James Gunn being on set for Infinity War and for Endgame and whatnot, he was able to stick around and kind of see how the Russos were able to kind of melt everything into that melting pot of having so many characters. So I'm not too worried about one character taking more over another character. Is there going to be like, I kind of wish that I saw more of Hawkgirl, you know, yeah, for sure, you know, or more of Mr. Terrific. Yeah, absolutely. You know, stuff like that.
Right. But do we go into this world like, yeah, it's Hawkgirl, or is each one of them going to get some kind of a weird origin story? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yes. No. And that's the thing is that the way that the film is supposed to be set up, that it's supposed to be set up that Mr. Terrific's already around, has been around. Hawkgirl has already been around. Guy Gardner's already been around. So they're already established in this world, this Superman world, or in this DC universe. They've been around, you know. So now it's the way it looks. It's going to be Superman trying to fit into that world with these other three heroes already there.
Okay,
you know, that's the premise. So they're already established, and I'm sure they're going to have the whole one-on-one, like, oh, how did you get here? You know, it's going to be one of those, and they're going to have their flashbacks or whatever. I can see happening for sure, but I don't anticipate Superman being a 4.5 hour long movie. And the first half is going to be talking about Guy Gardner. The second half is going to be talking about Mr. Terrific. I don't see that at all. I have a feeling watching the trailer, I'm getting Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, which is what Mosby said. That's what made it pretty, made it vibrant with colors and whatnot, because that's what James Gunn is known for, is, you know, because of what he did with Guardians. That's what I'm expecting. But I'm also getting Man of Steel vibes, the dark and brooding and stuff like that. So I'm getting those vibes as well with the flashbacks.
I got that from the trailer. I got the other one from the actual. No, I'm sorry. I got that from the teaser. I didn't get that from the trailer.
Yeah. So so that's what I'm getting. I'm getting Guardians of the Galaxy light and vibrant and go world. You know, we can do this, and Zack Snyder's dark and brooding, and them coming together to be meshed into Superman. Now, I will say the fucking song that they played throughout the trailer was fucking beautiful, dude. Just to hear the Christopher Reeve Superman being played, the John Williams score being played on electric guitar was fucking amazing. And I don't know why, but I pictured, and this is probably gonna sound stupid, but I pictured fucking Bill and Ted fucking playing that.
Oh shit!
Like those vibes that I got from it, listening to the John Williams score being played on electric guitar.
This is not gonna sound. This is different. As much as people hate Adam Sandler, the soundtrack is always amazing.
Yeah.
the video game for fucking Guardians is its own soundtrack. Music is fucking fundamental.
Right. Exactly.
I can't deal with the fucking music score, but if it's a music score from The Crow, like puts me right into the vibe. That happened during this scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, music is amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And if we know anything from James Gunn's going to end up incorporating music into Superman. For sure.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not turning it apart like other people, but once I saw the suit, it looks like pajamas.
Yeah,
I'm fucking in, but you have to understand, for general public, if they see something that they think, oh, this is not going to work out, I could wait for fucking HBO Max and not spend not only the $20 but the $60 at the concession stand.
No, homie, it's not $20 anymore. It's not $20 anymore. AMC tickets, and this was, mind you, this is me taking my kids to go see Moana 2. Okay, I took my kids to go see Moana 2. I took, it was my wife, the 3 kids, and myself, because I had to pay for my daughter now because she's 2 years old now, so I got to buy a ticket for her now.
She didn't pay attention to it. She had to pay for it.
I had to pay for it.
At least 4.
Yeah, I had to pay for it. $108.
$108.
$108 just for the tickets.
And these people are wondering why we're waiting for it to stream. Like, it's not.
This is what Diane and I were talking about. Diane and I were talking about the movies, brand new movies that come out. They're not targeted for families of 4, families of 5. That's not who they're targeting. I feel that they are targeting single or just recently married, couples, retired couples, friends to go where everyone's paying the ticket and stuff. That's who I think they're targeting. They're not targeting the family of 5, where they got to pay for, all 3 kids.
Then it's gonna take like a Pixar movie for you to go. Yeah,
exactly. Which is Moana. Paid money to go see Moana, which was a fucking amazing film. I thought Moana was great. It was fantastic.
You're gonna have to see it again when it goes live with The Rock. Like,
yeah, exactly. Then there's that. So it's like the way Disney's doing shit and all this. But that's what I'm saying. Superman is going to be one of those films where we're dropping the kids off at Grandma and Grandpa's. Diana and I are going to go watch the film. You know what I mean? It's going to be something like that. Or if she's just not interested in watching Superman, it's you and I going to go watch Superman. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or it's whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw Deadpool and Wolverine by myself. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. But yeah. I did call you. You didn't want to take the day off of work.
You heard yourself though, right?
I did.
Of course I didn't want to take a day off of work. You did call me.
I did. So it was just, it's stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Spending and then again, like the theaters, it's like, there is no regular theater to buy tickets. You have your AMC with Dolby, you have your AMC Laser, you have your 3D, you have your fucking 4D, you have all this shit. You can't just buy just a regular ticket. It's going to be either Dolby that you're paying for, it's going to be the fucking laser fucking projector that you're paying for. They no longer have
that. Them taking themselves out of the game, because they're gonna continually try to make the money that they lost from COVID, and they're gonna fucking, all right, well, is the juice worth the squeeze? I'm not. I mean, again, it took Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine for me to go see a fucking movie. It took the Batman for me to go see a movie. I didn't see Eternals. I didn't see fucking 18 other things that fucking. I didn't see Joker 2. I didn't see Joker 1. It's like it's not, as far as a date, that's a part of it because you got to take her to dinner. Then you're gonna go to a movie. Then if she wants to go dancing, she wants to go whatever. If that shit is $108 in the middle of the fucking date, that is why guys are like, "Hey, so yeah or no?" And then shit on Tinder is like, guys aren't guys anymore. Well, fucking, it's not gonna be a $500 date, and you're not even gonna like me, or you're only on the date for me to go on this fucking, or for you to get a free fucking meal and a free movie. You know what I mean? Like it's not that anymore. It's just it is a fucking choice. We have to pay rent. We have to do this. We have to do that.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's like you're going to be spending for 2 tickets, not including concessions. You're looking at about anywhere from $45 to maybe $55 for just tickets alone. You know,
that's what we say. Like, what'd you do on Friday? We went to go see a movie, and everybody just shut the fuck up. You know, there's no, and then what else?
Yeah, there's no, like, what else did you do? It's like, oh, that's cool. You know.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, all right.
In your head, you're just like, okay, if it's just him, if it was just 2 of them, you're looking at about $45-$50 for the tickets, and then if you wanted to buy her something to drink or some popcorn, then you're looking at another $25-$30 there. If she wants her candy, you know, there's that.
She's super cool.
Yeah.
We've already gotten that at the Dollar Tree or the whatever.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude! You know, and you walk in with that shit. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know,
that's what I've said. I have said this. I know that these fucking chicks are like, you didn't spend this, whatever. I will use a Groupon. I know I sound fucking weird, but I would want to use a Groupon so that we can go to 4 places on our date, as opposed to fucking 1, and I can't afford fucking everything else that you want to do, because you know what I mean? Like, if we do a Groupon, I can do this. I have more money. We can go to 4 places, or we can go to 1, and you have the best time of your life because they paid full price. Like, go ahead. The people that have that kind of fucking money, they're fucking somebody else already. You're probably the side piece.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really, I know, right? But it's really going to come down to it. I will be
really quick. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know I cut you off like 85 times. They're fitting all those characters in. Plus, you're going to do the Lois and fucking Superman love story, which they're clearly showing on the fucking movie.
Absolutely.
We established that. Are they already together? Are we like, do you know what I mean? Like, part 1 was the love story and a long ass movie about a missile, and it's still got a part 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. And part 2 was fucking phenomenal with fucking Houston, like, just fucking great. It was so much better than part 2, and that's what you do. You build off of shit, and you don't fucking fuck it up.
Yeah. No, for
part 3, we went into fucking Richard Pryor's cool. Let's throw him in, like, and then censor him. Like, it's like, but it still works because that scene when he goes and he turns back and like the skeleton and whatever. 9-year-old me, like, I'm just here to see Superman, bro. Like, yeah. But I did love the crunching of the knuckles, and then he gets his ass kicked, and then he comes back as Superman. But as still Clark Kent, like, he's the Boy Scout, but it's like, nah, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like a let's learn our lesson, kids. He's still like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude. For sure. But I probably won't see Superman opening weekend. I'll probably wait till the hype dies down.
It's gonna take a lot. Hey, Edwards has Tuesday for $5.
That's what I hear. And AMC has cheap tickets too on Tuesdays also. That's what I hear too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it might be a Tuesday film. You know?
Absolutely.
So.
You get your crowd on Saturdays, and I'm just down to. I just want to fucking see the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't need to fucking spend $40 to fucking sit in a comfortable chair and all that. Mm-hmm. If you've ever been to the AMC 10, they fought new chairs before getting Lazy Boys for fucking years. They had that weird thin back, like the coach, like, that's your fucking lean back.
Yeah.
They fought that for fucking so long until they were like, everybody from the mall is coming to this movie. We got to make this one of these for like a high class one. And it's one of those like, well, these are available. Do you want to go to here? Do you want to go to here? Like,
right.
Just eat a dick. Just get there on fucking time.
Yeah.
If you're on the front row, you're on the front row. Like all, that fucking weird ass. I don't know. We gotten so weird. Sorry. Anyway, so that's what makes me weird about the Superman thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we don't have a lot of time to tell the story because we want to end up in the world as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just make the first one good and the second one good, and then we just keep going to where we give a fuck about these characters. We had to live through Robert Downey Jr. versus Chris Evans and which side you're on without it being Team Jacob and Team Edward. This was like fucking the Boy Scout has that guy's back versus like, you know what I mean? Robert Downey Jr. Like, you fucking killed my parents, bitch. Like, let me take, like, both people had very good fucking reasons. Very good story reasons. Without it having to be manufactured or whatever. That's one of those things where the studio was like, yeah, go ahead, make me money. And didn't touch any fucking thing. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Don't make hot girl a lesbian because that's what's in now, or asexual, or I respect every fucking whatever you identify with. Just don't fucking make a character something because that's a buzzword. If that's truly the character now, because that's what we're doing, hey, cool. Just don't fucking make it a buzzword, but she's married to Hawkman and the comic books. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't fucking do buzzword shits.
No, I got you. I hear you. So, I mean, like I said, we'll end up watching it. We probably won't watch it right away, but we'll end up watching it. So,
yeah.
But on that note, we're gonna go.
They might come out with teaser 1, teaser 2, and we're like, we gotta fucking see.
Damn, yeah, we gotta go see this shit. Yeah. So, on that note, we're gonna go and wrap it up with this episode of Comix. This is episode 195. Fuck, we're 5 episodes away from episode 200. We're getting super close to that. It's super exciting. We're gonna make this thing a fucking thing for episode 2. Episode 2. So I want to thank everybody that's joined us on our lives on TikTok and our lives on Facebook and on YouTube. We appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys.
Except for Paul Peters. Eat 17 dicks.
Make it 18. Just,
round it up.
Yeah, round up. We thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you guys next Thursday. All right? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.